What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over what I think is the best loadout in Fortnite right now after the most recent update, which added the Cobra DMR, vaulted the original DMR, vaulted boogie bombs, and then also unvaulted the grapple gloves. So we have a few changes with the most recent update that definitely changes up which items you want to be using in-game. And I actually use the same loadout for both builds and zero builds. If you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful or informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below what your favorite setup has been since the update, because I feel like it's pretty wide open. The balance is pretty good, and that brings us to our first point. The balance is pretty good. I don't think there is any one setup that you have to use this season. This video is going to be what I enjoy using, but there's definitely different variations of this or different items that you can kind of swap, and I think it definitely makes sense. The first thing is going to be your shotgun, as always in Fortnite. Shotguns are super important, and they're just like kind of the weapon in Fortnite, the most important weapon. So my favorite shotgun has been the Prime shotgun for all of this season and from last season once it was added to the game. I think the Prime is incredible. It has an insane fire rate. Having that fully loaded first shot gives you a really, really high damage first shot, and the fire rate is nice enough to where like you're not really penalized if you do miss a shot, and it really combos really well with a lot of other weapons like the burst or the SMG. So the Prime shotgun has been my favorite. There's other good shotguns in the game right now, though. Like I said, the balance is pretty good. I know people who like the lever. I know people who like the Ranger. And even the Evo Chrome shotgun is really nice because you don't have to worry about using any sort of follow-up weapon. So it kind of creates space in your loadout for other items. But for right now, the Prime shotgun has been my personal favorite. Because of its fire rate not being as insane as something like the Auto shotgun or the Evo Chrome shotgun, you're going to want a follow-up weapon with the shotgun, and I feel like there's a few choices because the SMGs we have this season are the suppressed SMG and the rapid fire SMG, and they're not that great. They're not insane. The burst is incredible up close range, and that's what I'm going to be using. That is my favorite weapon to follow up with the shotgun. I've talked about this in past videos, and I'm sure many of you are using this yourself. You shotgun, swap to the burst, shoot a burst, swap back to the shotgun, and you just consistently do that, and you basically use it like how double pump was in the past. And when you get that timing down and when you get used to swapping back and forth between weapons over the course of the fight, your damage output potential is incredible with this loadout. If you hit a hard Prime shot, swap to the burst and hit at least 2 bullets out of the burst and then swap back to the Prime, more often than not, your opponent is going to be dead just off that. But I feel like oftentimes you'll get more than 2 bullets out of the burst hitting your opponent if it is close range. And this Evo Chrome burst is so good up to medium range as well that it dominates in those situations as well. The Chrome burst is insane. I would not be surprised if it gets a nerf in the near future. The next weapon we're going to be running is going to be the Cobra DMR. So this is a new DMR that was added today, and it's more of a mid-range DMR. I'm surprised they actually vaulted the normal DMR we had because I don't feel like they're competing at ranges at all. Like the normal DMR was more for like extreme long range, and this is more for like close medium range. And using it in the burst, they kind of do overlap on some ranges, but the burst really is not that ideal at like anything past like 5 tiles or so. It has a lot of bloom, so if you have someone like 9 to 10 tiles away, you really can't do much to them with the burst, and that's where the Cobra DMR is really good. It isn't as insane at long range, but it's good enough for the fights that matter. At extremely long range fights, this weapon is not going to be ideal, but more often than not, those really long range fights, you can kind of opt into or opt out of, and as long as you just don't actively take those fights all the time, you're going to be fine. So I use a Cobra DMR. It's like, let's say you had an opponent like 7 tiles away. They don't know you're there. Like, I would much rather shoot at them with the Cobra DMR and guarantee that I'm going to hit several shots than the burst where like maybe I melt them, but maybe I miss every shot as well. And then my burst isn't loaded for the close range fight. So the best combo for close range right now, I think, is the Prime shotgun and the burst. And then for the more, medium to long range fights, the Cobra DMR is really good. I think this weapon is really good. It's not as good as the AUG was, but it's certainly a good weapon. It is projectile as well, like the old DMR was. So there is going to be some bullet drop and some bullet travel time. But for most of the fights that you're going to be using this weapon in, I don't think you're really going to notice it. If you have somebody like shockwaving away from you or gliding in the air, you'll really notice the bullet travel time then. But for most of the fights you're going to be using this weapon, you can just kind of ignore it. And it does shoot pretty fast. So even if you do miss a shot because of that, it's very easy to like compensate for it in the way that the old DMR wasn't because of how slow the fire rate of the weapon is. So we're going to be using 3 guns. And like I said, I use this for both build and zero build. And that is unfortunate. If you like the Evo Chrome shotgun, I feel like you could run something like the Cobra DMR and the shotgun, but like the Cobra DMR isn't quite good at like kind of close medium range, and the Cobra DM or the Evo Chrome shotgun doesn't do that either. So it, like, both those weapons don't really synergize that well, but I definitely think you could make that work if you played around it well. And then you wouldn't need to carry a follow-up weapon, so you could use something like the grapple glove, a sniper, because our final 2 items in this inventory, I didn't say it yet, but it's going to be chug splashes and shockwaves as always. Those are given, or whatever your favorite heal is, but I think chug splashes are the best healing item in the game. And if I'm only carrying one mobility item, I would rather have shockwaves instead of the grapple glove or the chrome splash, which are both good items. But shockwaves are just much better at pushing people. They're much better at getting away from fights. You can use it to get out of a house. The shockwaves are just more versatile than the other mobility items, I feel like, and it's more like drastic. You know, if you fry somebody and you want to push them with a shockwave, you can be right on them. But if you try to chrome splash to them or try to grapple glove to them, not only is it going to take longer, but if they shoot you, they completely negated your mobility. Whereas with shockwaves, it doesn't matter whether the opponent wants you to shockwave at them or away from them. You're doing it regardless. They don't have any sort of impact on that. So I think shockwaves are still the best mobility item in the game. Grapple glove is certainly nice. And like I said, if you like using the Evo Chrome shotgun, you could carry both the grapple glove and the shockwaves. That's something I did a lot last season with like AUG, auto shotty, grapple glove, shockwaves, and then heals. So for now, I think there's only room for one mobility item in my inventory, and I rate shockwaves higher than the other mobility choices. Maybe that'll change in the future with them vaulting or unvaulting weapons. But yeah, and then as far as chug splashes go, one interesting thing is if you are having a hard time finding chug splashes for whatever reason, for the most part, you probably know how to find them with the places you enjoy landing at because the coolers are set spawns. But with the new hollow chests, you can actually get chug splashes out of them, and it's 1 key for 6 chug splashes, or there's potential for the chili chug splashes to spawn in the exotic hollow chests, and that'll be 2 keys for 6. So if you're ever in an area and you see the hollow chests, you could check them out for chug splashes. 1 key for 6 is incredibly cheap. I was very surprised when I saw that. I thought it was going to be 1 key for like 2, but it's 1 key for 6 chug splashes, 2 keys for 6 chili chugs, and chili chugs are basically chug splashes that also make you move faster, so they're really, really good. But that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys found it helpful or informative. The Cobra DMR is a really nice addition to the game because it's finally this season's first like perfectly accurate assault rifle they have in the game. I really like the chrome burst and shotgun combo, but the burst was kind of lacking at more like medium long range, and the Cobra DMR slots that perfectly. It is unfortunate to have to carry 3 guns, but this is what I've found the most success with since the update, and I feel like this is kind of what I was using towards the end of the last version of the game, I guess. With boogies being vaulted, I was kind of trying DMR, shotgun, burst, shockwaves, heals, and so I figured this would kind of be what I would go to. I didn't expect them to actually vault the DMR for the Cobra DMR, but it is what it is. I think it fits in just fine. If you guys did find this helpful or informative, give it a like, subscribe. Like I said, comment down below letting me know what you like running, because there's so much like openness in the meta right now. The Hunter Bolt is insanely effective and powerful. The Hammer AR is great, even though I'm not like using it personally. The Hammer AR is amazing. The sidearm pistol is really good. The Cobra DMR obviously is new and good. Either of the shotguns I think are all viable in different ways depending on your playstyle. So I think the current loot pool and the current meta is actually quite good. There's a lot of different choices for items that you could end up running and it be viable, or like I can see a reason why a lot of people would like those items. So let me know what you like running in the comments below. If you guys did find this helpful, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.